supine for our gentle yoga flow. So just settle yourself on the mat and just naturally come into your breath. Just feel it slowly begin to expand. So that you can deepen the inhalation as you get into it and notice the action of the exhalation, the drawing in and up of the exhalation. So sort of just notice the movement of the breath through your body. And I'm going to bring in some breath practices, pranayama practices today. And the theme of the practice is taking pause. So we're going to take specific pauses through the practice. I think it's a nice time of year to sort of be reminded of the notion of sometimes it's nice to take a pause. So let me add a little detail to the breath. What we want to do is, I want to separate my inhalation into 3 segments. So that I'm first going to inhale into my chest. Then I'm going to inhale into my upper belly, kind of say up until the belly button. And then I'm going to inhale below the belly button down to the pelvic floor. When I exhale, same thing. I'm going to exhale the lower portion, exhale the middle portion, and then exhale the top. So I'm just trying to inhale in 3 distinct segments and exhale in 3 distinct segments, just as a way to explore the breath and understand what's going on here. We'll add some movement momentarily. One more time without movement. So I've ended on an exhale. Just inhale in the same way in 3 parts, just on the ground. Then we exhale. I want you to pelvic tilt and then push up as you continue to exhale up to the chest. And then inhale in 3 segments to lower yourself down and keep going. So it's an exhale pulls me up from my pelvic floor. And inhale unfolds me back down on the mat. So keep going with that breath action. Have your arms long by your side. And on the next exhale, let's add arms come up and over. And then when I inhale, they come back. Beautiful. Feel the motion flowing through you. So last exhale up. And then just breathe and hold. And let's pause in bridge. So you're just pausing in bridge. You're breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Noticing the elements of what it is to be in bridge. And go ahead and take your arms back down your side so you can sort of feel it in this position too, with this hold. And then let's inhale together and exhale together. And then let's inhale and let ourselves down. Beautiful. Now go back to just take your natural breath without the 3 stops. Hug your knees in, rock your sacrum a little bit. Beautiful. And then let us stretch out our legs long. So once again, I do like to check in and make sure that my tailbone is long, or same difference, my hip points are drawn up towards my chest, so I feel some engagement in the core. And you can sort of notice the difference that there's, if your tailbone's up or your hip bones are dropped, there's a little slack here. And if you draw it up, there's a little firmness and lifting up there. So we're going to do an active leg practice now. And I'm going to let you just breathe naturally. So this information from the pranayama practice we did is there for you to access as you need it, but you're fine to sort of breathe naturally, and we'll focus on this leg movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flex both feet, pulling both sets of toes up. And then I'm going to float my right leg up to a perpendicular place. So I'm not pulling it into a big hamstring stretch. It's pretty perpendicular. If my knee is bent, that's okay too, but my foot is flexed. And then at the top, I'm going to point both feet and I'm going to drop it on down. Second side, flexing both feet. I'm going to lift it flexed. I'm going to point both and float on down. So there's our action. We'll keep going with that at your own pace. I just have to remind myself so you flex both feet. I was forgetting to point both feet. And then when you come down, that you're pointing both feet when you come down. I was messing it up myself. So flex when I come up and then point when I come down. And see if you can almost feel like when you take that point, it's almost like you're reaching with that big toe to lengthen the leg down. Reaching with the big toe and I lengthen the leg down. Great. So next one, catch up with me. Next one, leave the right leg up in the air, leave the left leg long. Feel the hips really settled, feel the shoulders really settled, and just hang out here. Just take a pause here. Breathing comfortably, just noticing what you notice and where you notice it. Beautiful. Let's point and we'll take that leg down, flex both, and let's take the left leg up. Same thing. We'll just take a point and take a pause here. Lower that leg down. Next, we're going to come onto our side. So I can have my head in my hand, or I can just lie down. My shoulders are stacked and my hips are stacked. And I'm going to lengthen my legs, get longer on my mat, lengthen my legs underneath me. I'm going to bend my bottom leg to a 90-degree angle underneath. And Karen's seen this in another practice. And I'm going to lift this hip up so it's lined up here. And actually, I was pointing my toe, but my foot can be pretty relaxed. The action is this. I'm going to pull my knee towards my head right in line with my body, and then kick it back out again. So I'm not coming up like this, right? I'm just kind of keeping it in line, parallel. So it comes in and out. And this is strengthening the lower back, quadratus lumborum in the lower back. If you wanted to feel that, you can put your hand right on your lower back, and you might notice this is a pretty small muscle back there. That's on there's one on either side of the spine, so you can feel it activated here as you do this action. A couple more. Beautiful. And let's come back on our backs for a moment. So this, and just stretch out. So this muscle is one of the pillars of support for the core. But we really consider it a mindful muscle in the sense that I'm not likely to notice it in life unless I somehow have some pain in my lower back, and then I might notice it If I've sort of strained it in some way, I might notice it, but otherwise it's a pretty quiet muscle, but a really key and important one. So I like to take some opportunities to strengthen it. So you can come to your second side. You might just roll over. I have to flip around to be facing you. So once again, shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked. I'm going to bend that bottom leg. I'm going to float up so I'm even with my hip, and then I'm coming in on that level, pulling the knee in and pushing away. Foot's pretty relaxed, so it doesn't, the foot could flex or could point, but it doesn't need to. And this muscle that is on either side of the spine above the hip actually works well with glute medius, which is the glute muscle on the side of the hip. They're partners in kind of side-oriented activities, including walking. One more. All right, so once again, just take a savasana, like I like these little mini savasana pauses. You could just notice what you feel, and if you feel anything, any awareness back there, or maybe there's none. It's either way. And then we're going to next come into a cat-cow. So I want to offer that you could just roll to the side, or you could rock up. So you can take yourself into cat-cow however you'd like to take yourself there today. Oops. And I'm going to have my hands underneath my shoulder and my knees underneath my hip. My knees are hip width apart, my hands are shoulder width apart. And I do like to, and I've got my sweatshirt on, so I'm not sure how clear this is going to be, but I like to, when I put my arms down, I would say that my triceps are kind of going that way and my biceps are kind of going that way. I like to bring my triceps behind me. So I'm just sort of pulling my elbows back to face my body, if that makes sense. So you can try that, and you can feel the difference. I just feel a little stronger in the arms once I've done that. And then play with so your neck is in line with your spine, so your head can come up and down, so you feel like your neck vertebrae are right in line with the rest of your spine. And so I'm looking straight down. And then same thing, I want to kind of play with my pelvis up and down. So here's tilting up, here's coming into a pelvic tilt, which we were playing with supine, until I find where is neutral, which again is a long tailbone and lifted up hip bones in the front. So I do feel some core activation here, because I want a really strong core in cat and cow gives me a great opportunity to kind of stretch and activate the core. So let's come into this action. So I'm going to inhale, drop my belly, pull my shoulders back, lift my pelvis, lift my head. Here's my cow. And then I'm going to exhale, scoop my belly button up to my spine, drop my pelvis, drop my head, my shoulders curve forward, and then keep going with your breath. And notice what you notice. I failed to mention that if you need a towel or a blanket under your knees for comfort, you can certainly do that. I have an arthritic right knee, and for whatever reason, it doesn't mind this, but some people do mind it. So take what you need. So now if you're with me, or come inhale into your cow, and let's have a little cow pause. So I want to linger in this extreme pose of cow and just feel what I feel, what is activated. So I'm going to breathe in and out here, and let's catch up. So we're going to inhale here, then exhale and draw yourself into your cat, really deep cat. And let's pause in cat. Really let the head drop down, no tension in the neck and jaw. with our breath, let's catch up. So we're going to inhale to come back to neutral. Then I like to separate my knees, toes come together so I can push my hips back into a child's pose, reaching my arms forward. My forehead is probably going to drop on my mat, or it might not get that low, but that's okay. And once I'm there, let's just kind of rotate our hands so we can release the wrists a little bit and breathe in your child's pose. Child's pose is inherently a nice pause in the practice. A couple of cycles of breath. And then let's come back up to this all fours position. So reset it, reset the triceps. And we're going to do some slow bird dog here. So I'm going to inhale and elevate my left arm and my right leg in line with my body. So I just come up in line with my body and I exhale and come back in. And the key, alternating sides. And the key here is the stillness in the torso, right? So the only motion is the stretching of the arm and the leg. The rest of me is quite still. So this is a great way to strengthen the pillars of support, particularly in the lower back, although it is engaging the entire core, this bird dog. All right, and we'll take our pause. So I'm going to inhale, my left arm's up, my right leg is up, and let's just have a few cycles of breath here, just holding here. Hips are square to the mat, shoulders are square to the mat. And then come on in, squiggle and settle for a moment. And then inhale, second side. Then once you're up, everything's square, you're going to breathe and hold. And I'll just give you this option. So I have given this as an exercise to really hold for 60 minutes. I mean, 60 minutes, 60 seconds. Come back in, and let's take another child's pose. And this time, take your arms back behind you, clasp your hands, lift your arms up, roll your shoulders back, and breathe here. All right, inhale, come forward again. We're going to come up into a down dog. So I like to bring my triceps underneath me. My hands are probably a little bit forward, and I'm going to tuck my toes, and I'm going to inhale, float my knees, float my hips, and everything's up in my down dog. Once I get there, I can go ahead and pedal and explore my dog today, and really relax head, neck and jaw. Chest is melting towards my thighs. Hips are lifting back, thighs are lifting back behind me. Arms are strong by my ears. And then stop pedaling and just inhale fully in the pose and open your mouth, and exhale. And another cycle of breath. Beautiful. And so let us inhale forward into a plank. And then we're going to lower ourselves to the ground. So you've got options. You can put your knees down and your chest down. That would be the easiest way to get down. You could do a half chaturanga, or you could do a full chaturanga. So just lower yourself down to the ground as you wish, whatever suits you today. And our hands are staying under our shoulders. Again, our neck is still in line with our spine. Our head is just kind of hovered. And let's push our hands down. We're going to inhale up into cobra. And maybe it's a little bit lower, maybe it's a little bit higher. My elbows stay hugged into the body. And exhale down. Inhale. So down. In. And exhale down. So let's lengthen our arms back behind us and clasp back here, rolling the shoulders back. So we're going to lift up into locust, and we'll do it. We'll move 4 times, and then on the 5th time, we'll take a pause in elevated in locust. Okay. So I'm on the ground, neck is long. I'm going to inhale, everything comes up. And exhale, everything comes down. Inhale, shoulders roll back, arms lift back behind me. Exhale. And this last time, inhale up and stay here and separate your arms and float your arms up above you like you're Superman. And breathe here. Take everything down. Put your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. We want to come up into a down dog, so I can come up through all 4s. Or I may be able to essentially elevate through plank and come up into my down dog. And inhale when I get there. Open my mouth and exhale. Let's inhale our right leg up. And I want to step my right foot forward. So some people can just swing it forward, and some people need to take a few steps. So whatever it is for you is fine. And then lower your left knee down. And I want my left knee back so that my hips are dropped and I can stretch my hip flexor. So let's inhale here. And then exhale and push back and straighten the front leg, half split. And inhale forward. Exhale, and last time, let's inhale forward. And then when I exhale, I'm going to pull my front foot back a little bit so I can come up and I'm a little more even on top of my hip. This front knee is stacked, knee over ankle. I'm going to inhale, my arms up. I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to side stretch towards this thigh. So this is my right side, so I'm going to the right. Then we inhale, my arms up, and I'm going to take a twist to the right. So I'm going to exhale and turn to the right, look back behind me. And inhale back. Exhale, put my hands down and inhale into a down dog. Now, if you wanted to do a vinyasa flow there, you certainly could. So that's up to you. We will end up meeting eventually up in down dog. Inhale. And exhale. Let's inhale our left leg up. Exhale, step our left foot forward. Bring that right knee down. Same idea where I've got this stretch in the hip flexor. I'm really dropping the hips forward. This knee is stacked over my ankle. Inhaling here. The exhale, half split, straighten the front leg. In, forward. Exhale. Exhale. Inhale forward. Now I'm going to bring the front foot back a little bit so that I'm a little more even, straight up and down here. Inhale, my arms up. Exhale, stretching towards the left. Inhale back up and exhale, twisting, looking back behind me. And inhale back up. And exhale, hands down. And this time I'm going to just step forward into a forward fold. So my front foot is forward, my right foot's back, right? And I just want to step my right foot forward if that works for me, and I'm in a forward fold. And some people like to bring the ground up a little bit, and that would be fine too. And then let's inhale, half lift, exhale, forward, fold. And inhale, reverse one leg all the way up and exhale, hands in front of my heart. And I need to make sure my entire self is in the screen. There we go. Head as well as everything else. Okay, great. So we're at the, actually, I'm going to come to face you. So we're going to take chair pose. So I'm standing hip width apart, and then I am going to turn to the side so it's super clear. So I'm standing hip width apart, and I want to inhale and get super tall. So I'm really activating the core, really lifting up towards my chest. My chest is lifted up. My shoulders are relaxed, shoulder blades sliding down my back. My head is crown reaching to the sky, and put my hands in Anjali Mudra in front of my heart. And let's go ahead and sink into chair. So sinking into chair is a hip hinge, right? Like I was just trying to sit in a chair, just like I would. My chest stays elevated. And then my knees are bending as I come down, and I can be higher or I can be lower. And how high or low I am is completely up to me. So settle into a place for chair that you enjoy. And feel strong in the feet, strong energy coming up the legs, strong energy coming up your core, elevated chest, broad collarbone. Let's inhale here. We'll exhale, we'll twist to the right. Inhale back to center, exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. I'm going to come out of chair into warrior two. So I'm already, so I'm in this bent over position, right? So feel all of that. I'm going to take my right leg behind me and place it ready for warrior two. And then once my legs are placed, I feel strong in my legs, I can inhale up and settle my upper body into my warrior two, looking out over my left hand. Really feel the shoulders settle down as the energy comes up the torso. Just breathe here, feel your strength. Again, I always mention this, my hips are in the position that are comfortable for me. So some people will be more front, some people will be more open to the side. I end up sort of somewhere in the middle is where it's comfortable for me. And I pick my stance so I can have a wider stance or a narrower stance, again, wherever that's comfortable. Share an insight from one of my yoga teachers. So let's inhale here. And just pause and exist in warrior two. So my teacher's insight was that when I was first working with this teacher, when I went into warrior two in my early years, I think after I had done my yoga, my first 200 hours, and I would be like this, like there would be my warrior two. And she said to me, Andrea, she said, do you want to do yoga when you're 80? And I said, I want to do yoga when I'm 90. And she said, well, then why are you going to the extreme right now? And I thought that was such an interesting insight. I held on to it. All right, let's inhale here. Let's exhale and reverse our warrior and cycle of breath here. And of course, that insight is, it's a good metaphor for life, right? Why are we going to the extreme? All right, let's inhale our arms up. I'm going to take us, exhale us over into side angle. So I'm coming over. So my upper body is turned to the long edge of my mat. My hips are still where they were comfortable. I'm going to settle my left elbow onto my left thigh and reach my arm up and over. So I want to be really open. And I'm not collapsed here, right? I'm sort of, my elbow's here, but I'm lifted up and breathe. And let's inhale up, exhale again to reverse. And then let's inhale our arms up and exhale and step me forward. And then let's just have a sort of a standing mini savasana in Tadasana. So really elevating, feeling strong and settled here. I just chose to lift my heels and lift my toes and then settle my feet back down. Just sort of do what you need to do to feel really solid and notice this mountain pose Tadasana. And we'll go to the second side with starting with our chair. So hands on Anjali Mudra. I'm going to sink into chair. Inhale here. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn to the right. Inhale, center. I'm going to exhale and step my left foot back. Settle my lower body down first, and then inhale me up into warrior two. Right hand, gaze going out of the right hand. Settling the shoulders, elevating the torso, feeling strong from foot to crown of head. Pause and breathe here. As inhale and exhale, reverse. So my right hand comes up. I'm looking at my right hand, reverse warrior. Inhale, my arms up. So I'm really turning to the long edge of my mat. I'm going to exhale down into side angle. Breathe here. Inhale up, let's exhale, reverse. Inhale, my arms up, and exhale, and step forward. And you can sort of shake everything out. We're going to add on here. So inhale, nice and tall. And hands onto mudra. Exhale, sink me into chair. And inhale here. Exhale, just reach my right arm behind me, look at my fingertips. And inhale back, and exhale left, and inhale back. And then just breathe a little bit here with me. So we're going to step back into reverse warrior. We're going to skip warrior two. So let's inhale together here, and then exhale and step back and take yourself fully into reverse warrior. Inhale my arms up and exhale over into side angle. Take a moment to breathe here. So what we're going to add now is, because I always have to be careful with the words, because so reverse warrior, you know what reverse warrior is. We've just done it a couple of times. I'm going to add a revolved side angle, which is going to be turning ourselves around to the back of the room. So reverse and revolve, those words are close together, but we'll distinguish. So let's inhale here and exhale. And then inhale and come up, and exhale to reverse your warrior. And then inhale my arms up. Exhale back to this side angle. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to turn my shoulders square to the mat, put my right hand down, and then I'm going to keep turning my shoulders to the back of the room and lift my left arm up. So this is revolved side angle. Breathe here. And let's inhale and come back to side angle. Be here for a moment. And then inhale and come up and reverse. Inhale, arms up. We'll exhale. Step forward. Shake out for a moment. Second side. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, chair. Inhale. Exhale, left arm. In. Exhale, right arm back. In. Exhale to step me back into reverse warrior. Inhale my arms up. Exhale over into side angle. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale takes me up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side angle. Inhale. And then exhale and start your revolve process. Left hand down, and then turn shoulders as much as you can and reach right arm up in the air. Breathe here. Inhale to take me back to side angle. Exhale. Inhale to take me up, and exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, step me forward. Great. We are going to add one more variation. I need to look at the time. So I'm actually going slowly today, which I think is good. All right. So we'll do one more variation. So let's inhale, nice and tall. Let's exhale and sink into our chair. And inhale. Let's exhale, stepping the right leg back into our reverse. See, reverse. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to go a little bit quicker. Inhale, my arms up. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, back up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side angle. And then inhale here. And then exhale and take yourself into your revolved side angle. And then inhale to come back all the way up and exhale, reverse. Now inhale my arms up and turn to the front of my mat. We're going to come into warrior 3. So lifting the right leg up. The most challenging arm position is here because I've got the weight of my arms. A little less here, and this is kind of the easiest way to do it. So take your arm position that you want to take. And I'm going to inhale and grow taller. Then I'm going to exhale and come forward into my warrior 3. And this is, I think you probably know, this is my weaker ankle. I'm working on this. It's getting better, but this ankle is a little weaker, so I'm a little less good on this side. Whew. Keep breathing and explore your warrior 3. A little sense of pause inside the lifted pose. Great. And then you can inhale up unless you're already out of it, and exhale, reverse. Inhale my arms up. Exhale to step me forward. One more side. Hands together. Let's exhale into my chair. Inhale. Exhale, step me back, reverse my warrior. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, angle. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, back up. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, and then exhale into my revolved side angle. And then inhale, back up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, face the front of my mat. Choose where I want my arms, right? And then catch up with our breathing. Let's inhale, grow taller. And then we'll exhale to come forward into our warrior 3. It, and then you can exhale to step back and reverse. Inhale my arms up and exhale and step forward. So you probably, I don't know if you were looking at me at all, you might have just been in your own world, but on my left, I've got an ankle issue. On my right, I've got a knee issue. So the balance poses are things I'm still working on and holding on to because I love them. And I got another one coming up for us before we retreat to the ground. So we're good on time. So let's just face each other. So we're going to do funky chair next, and funky chair is figure 4, which you probably have done as a standing stretching pose, but it's a nice balance pose. So standing about hip width apart. So you a couple of choices with my hands. My hands can be on my hips, or I can be in Anjali Mudra, and I'm going to sink into chair, however high or low I want my chair. And maybe it's not my lowest chair. And so, but feel a broad collarbone, elevated chest. So you feel the core really lifting you here because you're going to need it. All right. And so we're going to balance on the right. So just to test it, all I want you to do is just kind of like, just lift your left foot and just balance on the right, just for a moment, just like that. Good, and then put your left foot down. So funky chair is the following. I'm actually going to put this left ankle on this right knee. And if I needed to have a chair nearby, I certainly could. And perfect example, I'll probably do that on the left. Okay, so if you need something near you or a wall, you can do that, right? So let's be here again, broad collarbone, elevated chest. So my notion is that I'm taking this right ankle and I'm putting it on this left ankle, putting it on the right knee, and I'm going to balance like this, funky chair. I don't know the Sanskrit. I have to look up the Sanskrit name for this. Breathing, I'm breathing, I'm breathing. All right, step out, stretch out, shake it out. We'll go 2 times. So then sink again into chair. So the left leg is going to receive this weight now. So I'm going to put my ankle on my left knee and come into it as best I can. I just have to right, cock into this ankle of mine. Have as light a touch on this chair as I can. All right, inhale, step out, shake everything out. Change the channel completely. And then we will go again on the right. So come into your chair, whatever hand position suits you. And it's the left ankle on right knee. All right, step it up. Second side. So sinking into my chair to feel really good in my chair. And then left ankle on right knee. And I didn't offer it. Oh, and you can always do the test too. I didn't offer the test on the second side, I realized. All right, step it. Funky chair. Let us come to the front of our mat. Inhale our arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then just put your hands down and take your knees back and flip around. We're just going to sit, stretch our legs out. And I like to sort of take my cheeks out, and I want to sit up nice and tall, right? So how often have we kind of been sat like this, right? We want to engage that core to really lift ourselves up. Stretch our hands out, point our toes and point our fingertips, and then flex both. So we're just relaxing ankles and wrists after the work of this. Great. Now let's sit together. So you might sit in easy seat with crossed legs. If that's uncomfortable, you could sit like this. You could kneel. So any way you want to sit is fine by me. And then sitting up nice and tall. So again, feel that broad collarbone and let those shoulders be right over my hips, which can almost feel like you're leaning back, right? Because we sometimes land like this. But I want to sort of find this strong sit bones right underneath me position. And we had done the 3-level breathing supine, which is the first way we want to do it. We want to experience it supine. It's the most relaxing way to experience it. But I want to play with it seated. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing of when I inhale, I'm going to fill my chest. I'm going to fill my belly above the belly button, and then I'm going to fill my belly below the belly button. And then I'm going to exhale below, exhale middle, exhale chest. So keep going with that. Return to your natural breath. Inhale our arms up. Let's exhale, side stretch. I'm going right, I'm not mirroring you. Keeping the left hip down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side stretch. The other way. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Twist to the right. Inhale up and exhale and twist to the left. Beautiful. And coming back to center, we're going to come down on the mat supine once again. So I like to let myself down with control of the core. And we're going to do figure 4 recline. So it's reclined pigeon is the other way it's known as. If you, for whatever reason, would prefer to do full pigeon yourself, you're welcome to do that and I can demonstrate it. So if you're going to do reclined, I'm going to take my left ankle and put it on my right knee. And I want to keep this knee externally rotated. I'm going to lift my right foot and grab underneath my right thigh and pull it in. And maybe my left elbow actually, again, helps to keep this left knee externally rotated. And I'm going to breathe once I get here. So this is reclined pigeon. And I'll just show you full pigeon is, I'm going to start off with my leg lined up parallel with the mat. And I'm going to take my other leg back behind me. And then my ambition is to square my hips. And this heel might start to slide back towards my groin, which is perfectly fine. And I can be up high like this, or I can come low down. I'll show it to you from a different angle, in case this is any clearer. So here I am, and I'm going to square those hips. Right, you see how this did come back a little bit. That's okay. It's nice to keep this foot flat. It's good for my knee. And I can be low down like this, or I can be up higher like that. All right, so you take what you'd like to take and keep breathing. And if you've been in reclined, you can take the left ankle off and hug your knees in, rock your sacrum. And if we're doing recline, let's take the second side, either reclined or pigeon, we'll take the second side. So your right ankle on your left knee or your right foot in front of you, grabbing under, maybe my elbow holds my knee out. And so here I am in reclined, and if you're doing full pigeon, that's great too. So breathe here. And rock a little bit. So let's do a different sort of twist today. So I'm going to change my angle to make this clear. So lie down and stretch your legs out long. And then to come into our twist, what I want to do is I want to just kind of like walk my legs up to the side here, and then my hip is going to pull up, but I'm keeping my legs long. So my hip is going to pull up, and I can tee out my arms, and to complete the twist, I can turn my head and look out over my right hand and breathe here. So then let your legs slide back down again to center. Feel like you're centered. Take a moment there. And then walk them up the other way. So the hip does come up, and then I can turn my head and look out over my left hand and breathe here. Center. Bend my knees. Now take a happy baby, any kind of final pose your body's asking for before Savasana. And if, depending on how cool your space is, if you lost a layer as I did, you might want to put it on for Savasana. And then when you're ready, let's come into the pose. Now, if you have a towel or a blanket, you could make a neck roll for yourself if you'd like that. Not necessary, but can be nice. So that's up to you. And then come back, come on, yeah, you kind of release your legs down to long. Feel really long there, lengthen your tailbone or lift up your hip bone so you feel that place we've been in all practice. Let your arms come down by your side and turn your palms up, and that should hopefully feel like your shoulders really settle back down into the mat. And then once you're there, if you prefer to have a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly, you can do that, and your shoulders should still feel pretty open there. And let's come into our breath. So we had our pranayama practice that was very specific today, and you can use that now, or you can just do whatever free-flowing, relaxing breath you want to take now. And as we're coming into Savasana, let's let the exhalation be easeful. As we know, exhalations can be effortful, but we're going to make them easeful now. It's good to know is the body is going to exhale even if you don't actively do anything. Your body's going to do it. It's going to inhale too. Both can be passive or active. Just notice how you feel. You can sort of take a little tour of your body and see if any particular joint or muscle is calling for attention. Equally, it can be nice to notice the quiet parts, the parts that are not drawing your attention. Let's just stay easefully with our breath, and we'll have a few moments of stillness for Savasana. big with fingers and toes, just gonna create some movement. You can take the wiggling into wrists and ankles. And then keep expanding to just a full body stretch. So I often offer that you can roll up or roll to your side, but today, let's all of us just roll to our side. So my head is on my lower arm, my top arm is probably on the floor, my legs are probably together. And just almost feel like you could fall back to sleep here, just nice and relaxed. And then to get up, I'm going to press my top hand and reach my top leg, and that's going to float me on up. And I'm going to find another comfortable seat. So whatever that is for me, I feel like kneeling on a block, but whatever is comfortable for you. And sitting up nice and tall, that same broad collarbone, shoulders stacking over the hips. And let's share some final, we're gonna focus on sighing, which is another pranayama practice that is excellent. I'm gonna inhale through my nostril. Then I'm gonna open my mouth and sigh it out. Really commit to the sigh, relax, and inhale and sigh it out. And sigh it out. Thank you for joining me for this gentle yoga flow this Saturday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. Namaste. All right, I'll stop the recording, and if there's any comments or questions. Thanks, that was great. It was